What's up guys, Houndish here, and today the Dawning returns to Destiny 2. And in this video, we're going to break down very briefly how some of the rewards work, how to get plenty of Dawning weapons. They are going to be dropping from multiple different sources during this event, as well as a general introduction. Of course, many of us have been around for some time, so we kind of know about the whole baking cookies thing and stuff like that, but we'll round up the loot pool, the loot table, exactly how it all works, and a hidden weapon that we can actually earn during the Dawning, which is not a Dawning weapon specifically, but kind of like we had the submersion crossbow last season, there is an equivalent for this season, which has a small chance to drop while the Dawning is active. So if you guys enjoy the video, a rating would very much help us out on the channel. But now let's get into it. And so, initially, for the Dawning, when we speak to Eva Levante in the tower, she'll give us a quest that introduces us to baking cookies, the holiday oven, and all of that kind of stuff. It's working very much in the same way that it did last time around, so that part won't necessarily be too mind-blowing. If you enjoy giving cookies to various characters, then you can continue to do that. During that quest, though, we'll be introduced to the new game mode, which is Snowball Fight. This obviously will be one good way to get Dawning weapons because we get distorted Dawning engrams when we actually complete those. I made a joke earlier about how it would either be really fun or really annoying when you go in Snowball Fight. I got absolutely deleted, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure they're cheating. I'm sick of it. All right, calm down, it's going to be all right. While the event is active though, one of the main things a lot of players will want to go after are the new weapons. Now, we can go over weapon rolls, all of the potential rolls on them, in a couple of moments' time. As we can see though, there are the normal variants, which if they drop as tier 5s, they will have the infamous skin on them. Otherwise, that's the normal skin, just in case you are curious. Then there are the hollow foil variants, which additionally can drop randomly, but of course they are far rarer. You'll also notice when you actually look at the event track for the Dawning, some of those holofoils will be available at tier 5, or I assume if you're eligible for tier 5 loot, then they'll also be tier 5 on the event track. I think that's actually new for this particular event, so there'll be a couple of chances purely from the event track itself to get the holofoil variants. And these weapons will drop from the Dawning weapon engram. We can actually purchase these at Eva Levante, and we can do that by spending Dawning essence, which we also earn in some of the activities. Plus, there'll be a bunch of challenges that also give Dawning Spirit or Dawning Essence. I think it's got two different names right there, potentially showing up. But nonetheless, that currency will come from challenges and activity completions, and then we can simply purchase engrams from Eva Levante. That's one way of getting them. Other ways of getting them include the portal and general activities. So there are things inside of solo ops that have bonus rewards in the form of a distorted Dawning engram. And you'll see the same across other playlists. Some things like Astral Alignment can actually drop 2 Dawning engrams on completion, obviously because it's a longer activity. So that's the main way that we'll kind of be getting these dropped between random portal activities and then of course the Snowball Fight in particular. I mentioned about the additional very rare weapon that we have the chance to get, which is the Gizmo Weft. And as we can see, this is a strand micro missile frame grenade launcher, or as me and my friend were joking about just a moment ago, the Lego frame grenade launcher. It kind of has that vibe looking at it, but it's a pretty cool looking weapon in general. Obviously, we again have the infamous skin there. Let's preview the normal variant, which is kind of green and grey, obviously to suit Call to Arms. And from the perk rolls at Light GG, we can get things like Air Trigger, as well as Slice, Envious Arsenal, and then there is Blast Distributor, Slide Shot, and Reverberation in the first trade slot, with the second slot able to get Hatchling, as well as Bait and Switch, Elemental Owning. We also have Aggregate Charge, Bipod, and Chain Reaction as potential perks on this thing. But like I said, it's going to be a very rare drop inside of these events before we get to Call to Arms, which is coming back in April, but nonetheless, it's worth a mention because you might just get one dropped. And so we've covered the challenges, the event track, we've covered the Snowball Fight mode. There is also the title, which you can work towards if you're a bit of a completionist right there. And conveniently, Bungie have also put Eva's Holiday Oven into the kind of event tab as well, which is nice. Another thing I should mention here, if you tab over on Eva's menu, she does have some additional items, so things like the Alpine Dash. And we can buy these with Glimmer, which is pretty cool. There's also the Vapor Will Spin exotic ship. And then things like the Dawning Cheer upgrade, and we can fully upgrade the Dawning Cheer Sparrow with festive perks. Some of the perks are only active during the Dawning, but of course some of them actually have additional kind of bonuses for reward and material drops. So definitely worth paying attention to those if you haven't picked those vehicles up previously. There is additionally the Dawning Memento available on this tab as well, if you've got any older crafted weapons that you can still slot this into. The other mention for things outside of the event track, of course, includes the armor set, as we can see right here. So this is the Titan set. This is available for 1500 silver. There's also the option to purchase it for 6000 bright dust, which is pretty much what we normally see for these kinds of events. Otherwise, I don't believe I've really missed anything. Loads of weapon drops are going to be coming during this event. Otherwise, you can pick up cosmetics and things from the store. Eververse will also have a weekly offering of previous year's Dawning items, as well as a couple of new things. So there we go, that sums it up. If you're curious about weapon rolls for the new Dawning weapons, or the updated Mistral Lift of course, I'll run a section here where we break them all down. Looking at the potential roles for Permafrost, the first column has Attrition Orbs, as well as Overflow, Blast Distributor, Rhyme Stealer, Demolitionist, Impromptu Ammunition, and Lead from Gold. With the second slot able to roll Desperate Measures, Crystalline Corpse Bloom, One for All, Reaper's Tithe, Pugilist, and Adrenaline Junkie. So mostly perks that we are familiar with, as well as obvious combos like Rhyme Stealer and Crystalline Corpse Bloom. That's the one that gives the large stasis crystal near the victim's location. But it's nice to get Attrition Orbs on there as an option as well. Then you've got all of the stat boosts like Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie, as well as the Dawning Surprise Origin trait, where defeating targets awards a Dawning gift, and defeated powerful targets count as more than one. So without getting into a ton of detail, let me know any roles you might be interested in on that one. The other weapon though is the Fimble Winter Stitch, which is an arc precision frame sidearm. It can roll Rapid Hit as well as Trickle Charge. That's a new perk this season, where receiving or discharging Bolt Charge partially loads the magazine from reserves. That could be interesting. There's also Rangefinder as well as Loose Change, and then we have Supercharged Magazine, and while amplified, ammo is gradually transferred from reserves to the magazine, and while in Speed Booster, ammo regenerates faster and overflows the magazine. It can also get Collective Pugilism and Lone Wolf. Then the second slot can get Kill Clip, Jolting Feedback, Rolling Storm, Collective Action, Precision Instrument, as well as Redirection and Volt Shot. So it leans obviously into all of the kind of Jolting Feedback, Bolt Charge stuff, and the arc subclass verbs, including some of those new perks like Supercharged Magazine and Trickle Charge, so that component's interesting. But something else which is pretty cool is the fact that it can get Redirection, where damaging rank and file combatants increases damage against more powerful ones. And as an endgame bonus, this actually is pretty strong because the Redirection damage boost is pretty significant. So that's what I'm curious to try out. Not necessarily super hyped about the archetype itself, however, but you'll have to give me your thoughts. And finally, Mistral Lift returns, and it's a Void Adaptive Burst linear fusion rifle. Looking at the traits, slot 1 has Built to Blast, Envious Arsenal, plus it can also get Firefly, Reconstruction, No Distractions, Withering Gaze, and Overflow. Then the second slot can get Butterfly, which is a new trait, and aiming the weapon for a short period without firing causes your target to explode the next time you deal final blows, and the timer resets when you stop aiming down sight. It can additionally though get Bait and Switch, so Reconstruction Bait and Switch straight away is going to be a thing which is interesting. Plus there is Dragonfly, Precision Instrument, Destabilizing Rounds, Rewind Rounds, and Reservoir Burst. So a couple of good damage bonuses there. Butterfly will be interesting to try out. And on top of the Dawn and Surprise trait, it also gets Viced Stinger, so potentially a decent linear to actually add to the arsenal there as an endgame weapon. So I hope the video has been interesting at least. If it has, a rating and a comment for the algorithm would be very appreciated. And if you are new around here and you want to see more Destiny content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.